A warm welcome to you all. Thank you for joining us on this live Carnivore Conversations. I'm JJ, I'm a life coach, and I eat mostly meat.
I'm Eric, I'm a novelist, and I eat mostly meat. And we're going to just say everything we just said before again.
Yes. So first off, we would love to know where you are from. So please leave that in the chat, even if you are watching the replay. And I have to tell you, when we're live, we can't see on our screen who is watching. So we really love to know who is out there.
Yes. And we expect that most of you will see it on replay because we're doing this at 2:53 p.m. Central Time on a Friday. And you have better things to do than just watch us on YouTube Live, probably. Especially if you're in the Midwest. It is a gorgeous day here in Wisconsin. 73, sunny, nice breeze, not too many mosquitoes.
I haven't been outside much today at all. Later, I will get outside.
Well, that's not very carnivore of you.
It's not very carnivore. I'm teaching a life coaching class on Sunday, so I'm prepping for that. But
So
you were outside.
I was outside. I was trimming trails. We have miles of trails, and all of the foliage grows in from the side, and so that's got to be trimmed. So I did that. We are live, Annette. You have caught it.
Yay! I know we're going random these days. Someday we might get a schedule, but for right now, we're totally rando.
Yep. Although it feels like Friday's probably a good day to do it since we publish recorded videos on Wednesdays and Sundays. So,
well, speaking of recorded videos, our last video was about your why and why are you doing carnivore? What's that deeper why? And we got some responses.
Yeah, well, they kind of ranged. And the most recent one was somebody apparently has eliminated their migraines with carnivore. That was Nina.
Well, I have to say, I used to suffer from lots of headaches, and my first tiptoe into the proper human diet was when I gave up gluten in it's the 2000s, 2011, I gave it up. And I stopped having headaches when I eliminated gluten for the most part. It's pretty rare I get a headache now.
Yeah, and I never got headaches until I was much older. But on carnivore, I would say that I don't get them really ever. But I was never a migraine-y kind of person.
You weren't a very headachy person.
No. I would get the ocular migraine. I've had it maybe 2 or 3 times, but that's it.
So what else? What are some other people's whys?
Well, obviously, people want to do it for their families so they can have energy for their kids. Some people have special needs kids, and so they've got to really be present and have that energy. I can only imagine. And so, although that commenter didn't say whether they were putting their kid on carnivore, because that would be another question. But someone did mention that they have gone carnivore along with their son, and their son's grades improved on carnivore, which I guess isn't surprising.
It isn't surprising. It's delightful,
It's
though.
kind of shocking. Yeah.
But yeah.
I needed carnivore when I was a school-age kid.
Well, I was just watching something. I have no idea. So much YouTube. But they were saying that kids need those snacks at school nowadays because they can't make it through the school day, like the afternoon or the morning, without having a snack. So they have snack time so that the kids can stay focused throughout the day.
Well, what they need is an IV bag of glucose.
Oh my gosh. I run a youth theater, and let me tell you, those kids are, the rehearsals are 2 hours during the week and 3 hours on the weekend. And some of them need a constant stream of snacking. Some of them, their parents have even snuck back during shows. They're not supposed to eat in their costumes and have snuck back with snacks. And we find them huddled in the corner.
During intermission?
No, during the show.
Oh, during the show.
So anyway, I'm delighted to hear that this kid's getting better.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought I couldn't live without having water with me at all times. And when did this start?
Oh, don't even get me started.
We didn't carry water bottles with us when we were kids. I drank water when I was in the kitchen.
You got me started. So I think the downfall of all of us, here's my theory. The theory, according to JJ, is it all started with bottled water. I remember when Evian came on the scene. They were probably around long before that, but suddenly when I was in high school, Evian was a popular thing to carry, like a designer water.
Mhm.
No one was carrying water before Evian, okay? So there's nothing, wrong with water,
Mm.
but I think that started us with feeling like we needed this constant drip, this constant entertainment, because from there we went to juices and sports drinks and snacks. It's been this avalanche in my mind, and it started with Evian
Well, now I can't
and
go anywhere.
Starbucks, and then Starbucks came on the scene in college. And now we all need fancy coffees with loads of sugar. So,
Annette says, I drank water from the hose. Do you remember that taste?
yeah.
That was
and
a
it
very
was warm
specific. Well,
at first.
If let it run long enough.
Yeah.
We actually had a windmill. It wasn't used for pumping water, but it had originally been put there to bring up water. And my dad had put an electric well in, and we had a aluminum dipper that hung on one of the railings of the windmill, and you'd fill it up in the spigot and you'd drink out of that, and it was so cold and good and metallic.
I remember your windmill and all that, but I never got the privilege of drinking from
Whenever we
the
came
dipper.
home, when we went out to eat once a week for pizza, and when we'd come home, sometimes in the spring or summer, there'd be like lightning storms, and my mom would make us walk a wide circle around the windmill to get to the house because she didn't want us to get electrocuted. Yeah, but I remember drinking from the hose.
Yeah.
And I remember drinking from the tap.
Oh, yeah.
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 And now having tap water is the same as having no water for most people. I'm kind of like that. Like in a hotel, I wouldn't drink the tap water.
I have to say, and my grandparents, their tap water, city water, it was very chlorine-y. And I knew that from a very young age. It didn't taste that great.
So, yeah. What else? Some people, their why was a family history of early death, cancer or heart disease. And so carnivore, they're trying to get all their blood labs in line and their weight under control. So, I mean, that's a pretty powerful why, I would
Absolutely.
think. And some was just about de-aging or feeling younger. I don't think their goal was to necessarily de-age because you can't know in advance. But once you do it, the fact that you feel younger is a definite reason to continue.
I remember someone said they wanted to live longer and stronger than their parents. And I really liked that longer and stronger phrase.
I would love to live longer than my parents and definitely want to live stronger.
Yeah, definitely. And your parents, they did pretty well.
Yeah, 87. My dad was 87. My mom was 80. So, but although the last years for my mom
she had a
not
decline.
great. Yeah. But I would like to avoid their causes of death and death in general. My
dad died at 43. That was pretty young of a heart attack.
That's very young.
Yeah.
And concerning.
Concerned the whole family. Believe me, his brothers were on that heart health stuff. And my mom is still around. However, she's really been starting to say lately, if I'm around next year. So we'll see how she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in her she's 71. Yeah.
So we ran a poll on Facebook community page, and I was really surprised because we got a lot of responses. When I put a poll on X, I respond, and then that's the answer.
I didn't even know we had a poll.
It was a new feature. It just came out. And so I'm like, well, let me try it. And I asked, what is your favorite cut of steak? And I gave 3 choices.
Okay.
I gave New York strip, ribeye, because obviously you have to do that one, and then filet mignon or other. And New York strip got 7% of the votes. Ribeye got 74%. And then filet mignon got 15%, and other got 4%. But, I mean, it's almost cliche in carnivore circles that people just eat ribeye after ribeye after ribeye.
I was big into the ribeye early on
Mm-hmm.
and for quite a while until a little earlier this year because ribeyes are so expensive, generally speaking. And I started to get strip steaks on sale for a reasonable price.
Mm-hmm.
And you tended to have uh, strip steaks
Yeah.
on hand at that time too. So I sort of transferred over to that this year. And right now I'd say that's my favorite, although I did have a darn good ribeye for lunch.
It looked good.
Yeah.
I didn't taste it, but we're going to talk about what I did eat in a bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And that ribeye was on sale for like, he's heard me talk about this all day. It was on sale for about $8.25 a pound. So I got the ribeye.
Because you got the tip from the Two Crazy Ketos.
Yes. The Two Crazy Ketos had said in a recent live that you go in early and you get those markdown meats. And I kind of heard that, but I just happened to go to Walmart early today. And the manager, I guess, decides what is going to be marked down that day based on sell by dates and so forth. And holy cow, there were amazing sales on ribeye and filet.
So you
So
got,
I snatched them. And again, they were all right around that $8.25 a pound.
and they weren't expired?
And they aren't expired yet, but they're coming to expiration. Well, coming to their best buy date. And holy cow, filet and ribeye for 8 something a pound. I was all over it.
Michelle is here from, how do you pronounce that? Muscuta, Illinois.
Yep. Hey.
And Michelle, are you the one who is only here to hear me go off and rant about something?
We've got some ranting coming up.
I've got rantable material at hand. I was toying with just playing it like, haha, this is funny. But now I'm thinking maybe I should go off. We'll see.
I already ranted about bottled water. Although I know you probably don't come for me to rant. His rants are great.
Oh. Annette says her mom's 87.
Ah. And she's carnivore, isn't she? Or keto? I believe you said something about that in a recent video comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I remember it.
Yeah.
But my memory is not the best.
I wish I had family members who would go keto minimally.
Yeah.
And ketovore, carnivore maximally. That would be awesome. And I just think those are so much easier, ketovore and carnivore, than doing keto.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to start, keto is a pretty dramatic lever to pull, especially if you haven't. Did I say keto or carnivore?
You said keto.
Carnivore is a big lever to pull, which I think is reasonable to do. But if you can try keto and it works first, it's easier in a way. Different Michelle. But I do enjoy the rants. Well, it could just be that Michelle's like me angry. So this poll about the New York Strip, when I was getting the results in order to prepare for this live, I remembered that from the last live, we had people showing up from Melbourne, Australia, and New Zealand. I'm like, wait a minute. Do they call a New York Strip in Australia? And I was skeptical, so I looked it up. And based on what I'm seeing is that in Australia, it's called a porterhouse. And in the UK, a New York Strip is called a sirloin. Now, you can correct us if I'm wrong. That's what Google said. But this is confusing because in the US, a porterhouse is like a T-bone. It's part of the same cut, which has the T-bone in it. One side's a strip and one side's fillet, as I recall. And if you call a New York Strip a sirloin in the UK, a sirloin in the US is what in the UK I think you'd call a rump steak. So it's all very confusing. We're going to continue to use the American versions because that's convenient. But it reminded me of the quote, the George Bernard Shaw quote, "We are nations divided by a common language."
For sure.
Yeah.
Hey, we have Kansas in the house too. Who is that up there?
Emporia, Kansas. Marla.
Marla. Hey, Marla. Hi. Good to have you. Oh,
Oh, Annette says, Mom eats mostly meat, eggs, seafood. French yogurt.
what the heck? She's 87. Yeah. I had a yogurt the other day. We went to pick up my daughter at college, and her college coffee, cantina, cafe, whatever, had I was trying to find something reasonable. I knew it was going to have yogurt, or it was going to have sugar in it. I knew it. But I grabbed a yogurt. We were trying to use up her credits, and it wasn't worth it. This particular yogurt was not worth it, in my opinion. And I could feel instantly sugar film on my teeth. It was really kind of gross. Yeah. But, my daughter...
Did you have negative side effects from eating that?
No, I did not have negative side effects. Now, I'm sure if I checked my blood sugar, it obviously rose because there were some carbs in there.
Did it send you spiraling into a sugar frenzy for the days afterwards?
Oh, huh. It did. Okay, so I was not mentally in a sugar frenzy afterwards, but I didn't feel that great yesterday. I was a little off yesterday, and that would have been the day after. So who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little brain foggy, a little bit. Yeah,
it could be.
Off. I don't know.
So anyway, when you people from New Zealand or Australia or the UK listen to this on the replay, let us know what you call a New York strip steak. You might just call it a New York strip.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's move on to the things that we're angry about. I like to find articles about carnivore in the popular media and be mad about them. So the first one is, let's see, from USA Today, June 5th, which is what, yesterday or the day before. The carnivore diet is popular with influencers. Here's what experts say about trying it. And we did a whole video on this. It starts with men on TikTok are going viral for eyebrow-raising carnivore diets. And we had a whole video about, is carnivore only for men or something like that?
Yeah.
Health and fitness influencers who often don't have degrees in nutrition and medicine are lauding lifestyles comprised of eating entirely animal products, sometimes only meat.
Shocking.
Licensed health experts, now it's very important they're licensed, have some issues with the meal plan for a number of reasons. For one, quote, restrictive dieting is really unnecessary and usually backfires for most people. Registered dietitian Jamie Nadeau tells USA Today. Not only do most people gain weight back after the diet becomes unsustainable, but many end up with disordered behaviors around food. It often leaves you feeling like something is wrong with you or that you lack willpower when really it's the diet setting you up to fail.
Now, I'm wondering where he got that information, because that to me sounds like just an assumption that one makes about restrictive dieting.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if he's had any carnivores, or she, it's a Jamie, could be either. I don't know if this person has actually talked to anyone who's done carnivore and gotten that impression from them.
Well, here's what else health experts want you to know about the carnivore diet. It's an animal-based diet that allows meat, fish, and small amounts of dairy. Nadeau says. Harvard Health adds that means cutting out all vegetables, fruits, grains, legumes, seeds, and nuts, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
But it's posed here as if that's a terrible thing. Many proponents of the diet say it aided in weight loss, similar to keto or other no-carb diets. But experts and their research argue not only is not realistic in the long term, it brings a host of new health issues along with it. So would you tell me, after having done this for over 18 months, list out the host of health issues you've had as a result of carnivore?
I have one, actually.
Okay.
I went hyperthyroid. which meant that I had to reduce my hypothyroid medication.
So the downside is you had to reduce a med?
Yeah, the downside is that I was over medicating once my body healed, and I had to reduce that medication.
But wait,
Yeah.
you're wrong.
Oh.
Because the carnivore diet isn't evidence-based. There's no research to validate its claims.
And again, a lot of people point out that this is true, that the carnivore diet is not, has not been proven by research, yet the keto diet is the most researched diet there is.
There's tons of research on it. But I find it interesting that in this very negative article, under the risks of the carnivore diet, it says, you'll find many anecdotal reports of side effects like nausea, diarrhea, constipation, hair loss, headaches, and more. So that's interesting that they find that it's okay to tell you about the anecdotal side effects, but all of the anecdotal benefits, there's no evidence. There's no evidence. None. And in fact, if you do it, you're probably going to have disordered eating for the rest of your life.
I hate that when that
But
happens.
wait.
Wait.
Diets in high saturated fat are linked to heart disease. And the carnivore diet in particular also poses risks including kidney stones, kidney impairment, gout, and osteoporosis. I think that there's a Dr. Berry video or two they need to watch, because there's a lot of people whose kidney markers improve on this. This whole notion that high fat and high protein is bad for the kidneys is something that somebody invented one day because they thought it up, and then they just accepted that it was true.
You know what? Have you heard of the osteoporosis claim? I don't think
I've never heard of the osteoporosis
I don't
claim.
think I've even ever heard of that. And gout, I've heard some people will have a flare up.
Yeah.
Shortly after they move to carnivore. And then the issue tends to resolve. So they don't know why that happens, if it's a detox type thing.
I'm certain on any number of the billion Dr. Berry and Nisha lives, people have asked about gout, and he always says, do 90 days of beef, bacon, butter, and eggs, and you'll never have gout again.
Yeah.
I didn't sound anything like him. I didn't go for the Tennessee accent.
You didn't.
Because
I'm so disappointed.
I've only got kind of Missouri in my repertoire from my parents, and it's not the same. And I just don't want to. I don't want to.
You don't want to make all those Tennesseans upset.
Yeah. Michelle says, I dislike when people tell me when you go off low carb carnivore, you'll gain the weight back. I think it's obvious if I return to eating the way I did before, I'll return to how I was before. Did you know? If you start smoking cigarettes again, you will have started smoking again.
Wow.
It's very dangerous to quit, because if you start, you'll have restarted. Oh my God.
Oh.
Marla says, love your shows. Well, thank you very much. Been carnivore for 3 months, has helped depression, anxiety, and skin issues so much.
But that is just an anecdotal report.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Marla, there's no science to back that up. So you're probably very anxious right now. I hate to break it to you. Annette says, bingo, you nailed it. I don't know which point that was about, but I'll take it basically for all of my points. Let's see. What is recommended in this article is make a change to better your health. Focus on small habit changes, adding more physical activity to your daily schedule, eating more fruits, vegetables, and foods high in fiber and protein, and drinking more water.
Okay, wait here a moment.
Yeah.
Okay. So we should have more activity. Yay. Eating more fruits, vegetables, and foods high in fiber. So basically, if I eat those foods, what's going to happen is that I'm going to have less energy. You're going to have IBS.
Yep.
We're both going to be depressed. You're going to have anxiety.
Those are just anecdotes.
So they're only anecdotes. But that does not lead to that active lifestyle for me personally. Again, just an anecdote.
Yeah, when I'm really anxious because of eating all these carbs and feeling gut pain every single moment of the day, the last thing I want to do is more physical activity into my daily schedule.
How about even a tiny habit? That's even hard to
Yeah.
grok.
So, to conclude all of this, just so you carnivores are aware, new diets always sound exciting, and it's easy to get swept up thinking they're magic diet you've been searching for. The truth, though, is that restrictive diets don't work long term.
Mm.
If it's not something you can envision doing forever, it's not going to work. So, I guess tough luck for all of us. So anyway, the carnivore diet is popular with influencers. Here's what experts say. I thought it was just funny that they appealed to expert over and over again in this article.
Over and over. Like, he circled it. It's like a short article, and expert is like in there 12 times.
So
So
now I'm all warmed up.
well, maybe we should have ended that with that
Yeah,
one.
we probably should have.
My article is a little more balanced. It is from cnbc.com. And it is from, this one's a little older too. It's from March 30th of this year. And it says beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. That's what some influencers swear by for the carnivore diet. The diet beefs up on meat and minimizes or cuts out fruits and vegetables entirely. Yes, it does. It says, devout followers of the lifestyle boast that their skin is clearer and that it's clearer than it's ever been. Their gut is healthier, and they're in the best shape of their lives.
Uh-oh.
Oh, geez. Oh, my gosh. You almost flexed yourself under the table. Oh, yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting,
So, yes,
Yeah.
I am in the best shape of my life.
Yeah. So, it's true. So, what's interesting about this more balanced article, though, is that these subheadings in bold are, the carnivore diet sounds like basically a terrible idea. And if you're eating that kind of meal, you're helping bring down another tree. So even though it's better, we've still got a little bit of slant here. So it says, under the carnivore diet sounds like basically a terrible idea. Weight loss is one of the huge benefits that people who follow the carnivore diet claim they've experienced since adding more animal-based products to their life. This is likely because the eating pattern also cuts down on carbs. That's great, says Dr. Walter Willett, a professor of epidemiology and nutrition at Harvard. It's possible that some people who have been eating a lot of refined starch and sugar may get better in the short run. So at least they're acknowledging that there could be an improvement.
Yep.
But this sounds like a diet that is going to be very unhealthy in the long run. Why? Because they won't be getting fiber, carotenoids, and polyphenols, which are rich in fruits and vegetables. Getting fiber in your diet is vital for gut health.
I respectfully disagree.
Period. If you disagree, pop it in the comments, because there are so many stories about improved gut health and just a little bit of an easier gut health even.
Yeah, the gut doesn't have to do much on carnivore.
It's
the large intestines kind of got the week off.
Or at least a few days, yeah.
But I want to point out that carotenoids and polyphenols, those are not essential nutrients.
No. These articles never these articles never talk about the nutrients in meat.
Meat is devoid of nutrients except for saturated fat.
And that's what this says. The foods that are prominent in carnivore diets also contain high amounts of saturated fat and cholesterol. Yeah. And it says, despite the multitude of studies that connect red meat consumption and heart disease, some people just don't agree that consuming red meat is often bad for your heart. Now, this part I love because they actually quote Dr. Eid, Dr. Georgia Eid, in this article. I think they pulled it from the book, actually. this is the mainstream messaging that we hear about red meat. It's essentially been blamed for all kinds of human health catastrophes, from cardiovascular disease to colon cancer, says Dr. Georgia Eid. They're based almost entirely on a type of research method called nutrition epidemiology, which is what the Dr. Walter Willett is, a professor of epidemiology and nutrition. So epidemiology is just untested theories, essentially guesswork about how red meat might be affecting us that have never been tested in clinical trials and been found to be supported. Yeah. So then it goes on to say some believe that this is a flawed, that epidemiology is a flawed way of coming to conclusions about how foods impact health. But experts have yet to land on a better alternative. So again, there's some balance there.
There's some balance.
There's some balance.
It just kind of suggests that the experts have settled for something that can't really tell you what they say it tells you.
Yeah.
It's the best we've got.
It's the best we've got. So then it goes into the next subheading about if you're eating that kind of meal, you're helping bring down another tree. So we're gonna say epidemiology is epidemiology, but we're gonna end on this note. But even if people are really weary about the way in which nutritional studies are conducted, what can't be denied are the effects of meat production on the climate. To this, Eid says, industrialized food production, whether it's plants or animals, is really harmful for the planet. And while this is true, there is a clear difference between how much the production of plant foods is impacting the environment versus animal-based products. The emissions of global greenhouse gases like methane from the production of animal-based foods are double that of the production of plant-based foods. We've heard about the cows and the methane in the past. I'm not refuting that. And you've talked about your father in the methane producing.
Yeah, my dad, with his passing, most of the methane problem in the world was resolved.
They don't know that yet, though.
Yeah, they don't know that.
Yeah, but not disputing that, yet they don't talk about glyphosate or monocrop farming and how that depletes topsoil or the destruction of the natural environment to create the farm fields. So those things are kind of always seem to be left off the table when we're talking about the earth. Yeah. So it ends with this quote, leaving you with this last parting thing. And this is from Dr. Willett again. You can think that if you're eating that kind of meal, you're helping bring down another tree on the other side, he adds. Sounds basically like a terrible idea. Well, I can tell you what sounds like a terrible idea to me, is having a country filled with sick, inflamed people who are suffering from mental health issues and brain fog. That sounds like a terrible idea.
Whoa, now JJ's going off.
I told you. Now, again, I'm not going to actively dispute what they say. I'm just offering another perspective.
Yeah, I was very interested to see Dr. Georgia Eid quoted in it. We've mentioned her book almost every video, Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind. It is sensational. I highly recommend it. If you or anyone else you know has mental health issues and you're not carnivore or not keto, or maybe you know somebody where you like, oh, come on, try keto. That is a great, great book. Very balanced. She's a Harvard-trained psychiatrist, which in some areas would probably be a disqualification, but she's great. And her takedown of nutritional epidemiology is a brutal, but she does it with a nice little smile.
Yes, it's amazing. And you sort of alluded to this. She is a carnivore proponent, yet she works with people who are mentally ill and suffering. And so she actually moves into the paleo side of the diet too. So it's not as restrictive. And she talks about the paleo foods that are the worst for brain health. So you can still eat the proper human diet in a spectrum and yet also take out the foods that are the most harmful to our mental health.
I was always skeptical about the seed oil thing. I was like, I don't know, maybe they're not that bad for you. Well, when I read her description of how it's distilled and the process, and then she gets into the details of how they affect brain chemistry, I was like, okay, I'm convinced.
Yeah. Brilliant book.
Oh.
And again, just very accessible and just a really great book.
Oh, let's
We've
see.
got some comments to catch up on here.
Let's see. Annette says, I think this is about the first article. Basically, the writer is a shill, otherwise known as an idiot. If I eat grains, vegetables, fruits, seeds, I will be on the toilet for an hour and can't be away from a bathroom further than a few steps.
Right.
Yep. Thank you for sharing that, Annette. But we all can identify with that.
Oh, we can.
Michelle says, interesting that restrictive diets don't work, but calorie restriction does.
Yeah, because the body doesn't at all mind being starved. There's no repercussions of that.
Yeah.
And devoid of nutrients, no big deal.
There's nothing like being on Twitter/X. I follow a number of different sort of themes, and one is nutrition, carnivore, and there's a constant argument going on between the carnivore and the non-carnivore people. I don't participate in it because who am I? But I watch it, and it's fascinating to me when someone gets on their calories in, calories out soapbox and starts talking about physics. And I just, in a way, I just sort of kind of tune out because I'm so over it. I haven't counted a calorie since we did Weight Watchers points.
Yeah.
Back low 19 years ago.
Yes.
And I have been very successful not counting a calorie. And if carnivore, for some reason, is fewer calories, and that's a why I've lost weight, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. We have Michelle says disagree. Marla says disagree. I think you're disagreeing with the
article.
The article with maybe the fiber issue. I can't remember where that was. Ellen says we escaped the matrix.
I seriously feel like that. I seriously.
I think Alan left a comment about salad. He was not a fan of salad.
I hear you.
Lettuce.
I hear you, Alan. I hear you. And I don't even disagree. And I'm hoping someday I might give that giving up everything a try. It could happen.
But you're doing so well.
Yeah.
And when you do have things that are not strictly carnivore, you seem to buffer it fine, except for that yogurt.
Except maybe the yogurt. But that is one of the good things about eating mostly meat and not introducing a lot of variables, is that if something does not work for me, I can find out pretty quickly. Yeah.
I don't buffer off-plan meals as well, but
no, I was just gonna say, salads for you, you've got to be a little careful with.
Yeah. Although it's so stupid and it makes me mad. So other Michelle who likes to hear me be mad. All of those years I was told, eat leafy greens.
Yeah.
And I finally developed a salad that I loved, and it nearly destroyed my innards.
I respectfully tried to point that out, and yeah.
Oh my goodness. So we have to lighten the mood. Well, we've already lightened the mood. Well, I mean, what am I saying? I'm here. The mood is light.
That's usually the case.
I ran across on YouTube a guy that had just started carnivore, and he had found apparently on TikTok this cottage cheese and egg flatbread recipe, and I watched him make it, and then he put eggs and bacon on it, and he's like, this is fantastic. So I turned to you and I said, I heard about this thing, let's have it. But we didn't have any cottage cheese on hand.
No, we did not have cottage cheese on hand. So I went to the store and I got some cottage
Wow,
cheese.
amazing story.
Yeah.
But we're going to watch a TikTok. It's not the same video, but we're going to watch a TikTok. Hopefully the audio will come through. Let us know if you can't hear it, because then I'll try to troubleshoot it. But you actually probably don't need to hear it. But here it is. Let's see what
I finally tried the viral cottage cheese flatbread, and let me just say it did not disappoint. If you are keto or carnivore, you will absolutely love this. Blend 1 cup of cottage cheese and 2 eggs, and that's literally it. Bake for about 40 minutes at 350 until golden brown, and you have a homemade, healthy, high-protein flatbread. I cut mine in half and made a breakfast wrap with bacon and eggs. It held together really well and gave a nice, savory, cheesy taste that paired really nicely with the bacon. I'm gonna use the other half with some leftover chicken salad later. But what do you guys think? What would you use this with?
So
Finally,
that thing turned out.
Yeah,
And
apparently it did.
I put lunch meat, like ham and, was it turkey?
Mhm.
With some deli mustard on it, and made a little sandwich. And it was quite satisfying. Now, I don't know, cottage cheese, how many carbs are in that?
Not many at all. Like
It's
cottage
mostly
cheese is
protein,
mostly protein, I believe.
dairy protein.
Yeah.
If you can't handle dairy, obviously it's a no-go.
Yeah.
But I do handle dairy, and in moderation.
Now, here's the kicker. So, the video you saw, they added some seasoning to it, some bagel,
Yeah, it was like
everything bagel.
I don't know what's in that, but a lot of salt.
So, he has a history of not liking bread-like products because I've been making a lot of bread-like products since I stopped eating gluten
Mm-hmm.
so many years ago. So I did use the everything bagel seasoning because I wanted him to have a good first experience.
It
Yes.
was very good.
My daughter came out. She's a carnivore. And she's like, what smells so good? I mean, she was smelling the seasoning.
Yeah.
But here's the thing is she tried a little piece, not the whole sandwich component, but she tried a little piece and she said, I don't hate that. Which for her is high praise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was amazed. Now, I'm saving my sandwich for later today. I had a ribeye for lunch, so I haven't tested it in context, but I did try a little bite, and I thought it was good, but hey, I've not had gluten in years, and real bread.
And that says Good Culture cottage cheese has 3 carbs in their small single-use container.
Oh, this uses 8 ounces, so that's quite a bit.
Yeah, but I didn't eat the whole thing.
No.
So
No.
a little bit of carbs, but I don't think that I would allow myself to have that on like a daily basis. But I'm going to put some breakfast foods in it. I think that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I think that would be really good too, based on what I tasted. Oh, I will say though, mine did not brown like that video. I had to actually turn the broiler on to get that browning effect. So if you try it, you might have to do that.
Everybody say hi to Carrie and Homestead How. Thank you for the super chat.
Oh
Holy
my
cow!
gosh!
You two are the best. Are you attending any keto carnivore conferences this year?
Oh, so Carrie, I know you just...
Oh, show the shirt.
Oh. I'm wearing the Carrie shirt today. I know you just got back from Hack Your Health KetoCon and did 14 interviews. So thank you so much for doing that for the carnivore community. Cannot wait to see the finished product. And we get that it takes time. So we're not rushing you. We know the process. And we talked a little bit about going to that one. Yeah. But we just...
The timing wasn't good with our kid coming home from college.
And the remodeling project.
Yeah, we have a remodeling project
going on.
We don't know about upcoming keto carnivore conferences this year. We will definitely be coming to something, but we don't know what it is yet.
Yeah. We'd like to.
Yeah.
So thank you again.
The meetup was so strange because I don't go to social events, and I swear we walked to the table where we were going to be getting our name tags, and people were like, "Are you guys Eric and JJ from YouTube?" And I think we had 300 subscribers at the time. It was amazing.
Yeah. That was a really nice event, and we hope that there are other meetups in the area to go to. That would be great. Yeah.
But holy cow, this is our first super chat of all times. And that money is going to meat.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's so funny. Let's see. Terry. Hi, guys. North Florida here. Really enjoy your talks. I love JJ's laugh. You can't do it on
I can't
command.
do it on command.
8 months in eating mostly meat and feeling awesome at 57.
Yes.
Well, I'm 53. JJ is still 29 and has been for a couple decades. And I swear, I absolutely do feel more energy. I'm definitely stronger than I was at 33, and probably better mental health than when I was 23.
Yeah. It's hard for me to say.
Less hair.
Yeah. My 30s were abominable. I had a lot of low energy, hormonal, mental health issues in my 30s. My 20s were better. So maybe I feel like I was in my 20s, but I still had like insomnia and issues then that I don't have now.
Mm.
So I have to say, in some ways.
I'm guessing it's a common theme among carnivores that they're like, holy cow, you can actually feel like this?
Well, but it is very unsustainable.
Oh, that's right.
It's a very unsustainable diet.
This article
This is
says it can't be done. So bad news, everybody.
Yeah, but that's only anecdotal.
Michelle says, I don't hate it as high praise from a child.
Right.
Yeah, that's she gets that from me. It's like, how did you like it? Well, I gagged it down.
You've probably heard him say that on these videos.
Yeah, my mom, that's something my mom would say. I gagged it down. It's not high praise.
Yeah, she's a lot like
yeah.
you. She has some me too. But yeah, a lot like you. Oh, wait, North Florida. You read that one. I missed the North Florida part. We really enjoy going down to Florida.
Where are you seeing this?
It's Terry's comment.
Oh, North Florida.
Yeah, I missed the North Florida part.
You were born in Florida.
I was born in Jacksonville, Florida. I was a Navy baby. My father entered the Navy because it seemed like his draft card was going to come up in Vietnam.
So when you said you were a Navy baby, I imagined you in the little white cap and the dungarees.
Well,
and dancing with Gene Kelly and Frank Sinatra, New York, New York.
I love Gene Kelly. I am not a great tap dancer, though. That was not my forte.
If you've seen On the Town with Gene Kelly and Frank Sinatra, let us know, because it's one of our favorite.
His dad was in the Navy for the Korean War.
Not a tap dancer.
But we used to tease him, we used to ask him about that. Yeah. Which, if you knew his very serious, business-oriented father, it was funny to ask him.
He had no musical talent and no sense of rhythm. Yeah, he had the ability to clap exactly wrong to every song. Oh my goodness. D is watching from Michigan, so we've got a lot of Midwestern neighbors. You're having beautiful weather like we are today.
Yes. This is kind of a good time for a central time zone person. Out on the East Coast, they've probably already started the weekend. On the West Coast, they probably already started their weekend too in some areas.
Yeah. So that flatbread thing with cottage cheese and eggs. Mm-hmm. Are there other viral recipes that we should be looking for? I'm not on TikTok, so I don't see any of them. So we need to know, because if it's not on YouTube and mentioned in a YouTube video, I'm not going to see it.
Okay, so I'm wearing my Healing Humanity shirt today, and Carrie, your shirt is getting extra play the last couple of weeks because over Memorial Day, we tried another recipe. It's not a viral TikTok recipe, but I tried Chris cooking Nashville's noodles. He's like, I don't remember.
I remember those.
Oh, okay.
What were they made out of?
They were made, I don't remember the whole recipe, but chicken is part of it. I think egg white protein, and there's some gelatin in there too to help bind it, and other things, but that's what I remember. And because it was Memorial Day weekend, Our treat meal
Mm-hmm.
was to make those and have a red, like a marinara sauce. Now, I am known for my spaghetti sauce. I make
That's
a really
true.
good spaghetti sauce. So for Memorial Day weekend, we had the tomato
It's a meat
sauce,
sauce.
a meat sauce. It's homemade. I made it. So yes, it contained tomato. It contained herbs and spices. It did not contain any added sugar at all. But as I was making it in my meat-based shirt, I dropped something and tomato sauce splashed all over the
And
front
it was
of
karma.
my shirt. It was karma.
Carnivore
It was
karma.
carnivore karma. So of course I quick put it into the laundry. It came through the wash and that meat sauce is still there. It's not the stain. For some reason, maybe I balled it up too much and it didn't agitate enough. So it still has meat sauce on, or tomato sauce on my meat-based shirt. So I need to stain stick that, run it through again. And in the meantime, Carrie's shirt gets all the carnivore love for the last couple weeks.
Has anybody asked you about your meat-based shirt?
It's been out of commission.
Oh.
I like literally wore it twice
Oh.
before the tomato sauce incident.
Oh my goodness.
But no one's asked me about this shirt either.
Well, see, this is what Carrie said. I love the shirt. Hooked up on conferences, meetups since, well, yeah, you are never at rest, are you?
Believe me, I was just watching your video with Jen, your reunited video, and she was saying, you guys, I'm the only one who knows how much he works. And I don't quite get to see that side, obviously, but believe me, we do see how much you work.
Yeah.
We do see it.
Summer has hit the Pacific Northwest. Biking, kayaking, paddleboarding, here I come. 5 minutes from the Snake River. Is that near the canyon that Evel Knievel rocketed over when I was like 3 years old?
We were young for the
Yeah.
Evel Knievel years.
Carnivore Karma would make a great t-shirt.
Oh, I kind of like that. Yeah.
I'm guessing there's a lot of vegetarian Buddhists who would object.
We were just watching. Oh my goodness. We've mentioned it before. We like these survivalist shows too, like Alone and Naked and Afraid. And we are currently watching a season of Naked and Afraid XL with, what is it, Makani?
Yeah, Mikani.
Makani, who is a vegan. And I actually really like her. When I saw her on her original season, her mindset really got her through. I've seen a lot of vegans who are able to have the mindset to get through. They don't suffer. They're eating plants here and there, and they're ready for Mother Earth to provide for them and have absolute belief that she will. So they get through the challenges. They can pretty well. Well, this is a 40-day challenge, and Makani...
Well, she was eating leaves.
She was literally eating leaves, and that was it. And I am afraid she didn't do as well on this challenge. But she was convinced. She's like, I need protein. And she caught a fish. She actually caught a fish, but she could not eat it.
No.
And then she actually had a really bad medical tap out. Yeah. She got really sick.
So I don't think that...
But she's a Buddhist.
Yeah, if you're in a frank survival situation, you do have to back up and just eat what's available.
Well, again, I think you can make it the 21 days, but not that long. But it went against all of her Buddhist beliefs, and yeah.
But I like the carnivore karma.
Yeah, me too.
I'm trying to think of graphics to go with it.
Oh!
We got another, it's not popped up here yet. So, here we go. Now I can add it. Started carnivore a month ago. I already have reversed stage 3 bladder prolapse and major kidney issues due to eating high amounts of oxalates that I had no idea I was poisoning myself with.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for you, Dee. Obviously, I have a family member who is dealing with prolapse, not willing to go into carnivore or even eating much meat at all. And I've just been curious what could happen if this person did. I have no expectations, But so that makes me really excited that you were able to have a reversal of your bladder prolapse. That's just awesome. Awesome. Congratulations.
But unfortunately, I don't know if Dee was here to hear this. One of the articles we talked about, there's no science to prove that. So unfortunately, you will not have that benefit.
It's only anecdotal. We ignore the anecdotal benefits.
But the experts, the experts, you got to wait till the experts tell you that that's what's happened, because the health experts, the experts in their research, proven by research.
And she also, the kidney issues, which of course, was it this one where you're going to have kidney issues if you eat mostly meat? It's just a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
well, congratulations.
Congrats.
Keep it up.
Yeah. Awesome.
That is fantastic.
It is awesome. Oh.
Well, I think we're hitting the hour mark.
We are hitting the hour mark, and this has been so much fun today. We've done lives before. Again, we go randomly live, so we know you don't know when we're going to be doing it. It's a lot more fun when you're here, though, so we really appreciate you participating and playing with us.
What are we eating tonight?
Tonight, dare I say, I think we're going to have some leftover hog log. Which is
hog log, hog log, hog log. Hog log is pork tenderloin.
Pork tenderloin, and then I think we'll fill in around the edges with whatever you want to grab.
Probably some turkey.
I'm gonna have
deer jerky.
Yeah, you have deer jerky, and I'm gonna have my sandwich with the cottage cheese bread stuff.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna be jealous because I already ate my cottage cheese bread, and you still have some.
Yeah, wow. I was kind of jealous of you, except I was so needing a ribeye.
Yeah,
for
she
lunch.
dug into that ribeye like you had been starving.
It was a pound, and I ate it. But yesterday, again, I tried that sort of a protein-sparing, low-fat, low-calorie.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? I don't understand the principle.
I'm not there yet. I will talk about it when I have it more in my head and see if it works. I'm just experimenting with things. So we'll see. But I can tell you, I was ready for the refeed today.
Well, we're going to sign off. Eat some steak, eat some red meat, ignore the fact that the experts don't think you know what you're doing, and live long and prosper. Although that's copyrighted. Forget I said that. Nanu, nanu.
Is that?
Yeah, of course it is.
Here, this
Nanu, nanu. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.